Okay, to be getting ready. So,
hello, and welcome to the Critical Message channel. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Before we get started with introductions, there's the void, just blackness that seems to stretch on for who knows how long, until a man comes into view with this thick, scraggly, miskempt beard and this old ratted fishing hat that silhouettes the eyes. And he sits down in a chair and says, "I was the color red in a sea of black and white. I had the whole world in my hands. You clung to my ankles until I fell, and I fell. I fell for so long, I forgot what it is to feel, to be. Look at the mess left in my wake. Devils hanging from the street lamps. Birds with no wings gliding over open ocean. Shadows that cling to open sunlight, and tadpoles with no heart and no guidance. And yet the noble maid, the good-hearted janitor of salvation that will wipe this muck clean from the streets of my city before it threatens to spread its grime and disease to each corner. What have you done, Charlie? As for you," and this man turns, and you've heard all of these words, but it was almost as though he was speaking through you. And now the voice speaks to you, Ari. And it says, "If you want to forge the path forward, all you have to do is follow the buzzards." And you are jolted awake by a loud knocking at the door of the hideout.
Okay. Just, Ari goes to just pick up a rather see-through, but still a night robe nonetheless, and she wraps it around herself and wanders over to the door, a little bit still shaken and out of breath. But for any that would not know this, the stumbling seems to be just pretty in character for her usual.
Right. And it's quiet. You're the only one awake. It is very, very early in the morning. The sun is not even in the sky yet. And there's this weird thing that happens. You know how sometimes when you rub your eyes too hard, there are like colors that are left over, almost like burned into your vision? You're seeing that symbol when you close your eyes until you open the door and it's gone. And you see Detective LaRose standing there. It says, "Oh, good. It's you."
Mr. LaRose, you've caught me at quite an indecent hour.
I can see that, yes. Well, Ari Serrana, and you see two more blue coats step to the side and says, "You're under arrest for the murder of Dr. Lyman Baxter."
What? I was nowhere near. What
Ladies,
are you doing?
Gentlemen, and everyone else who finds themselves inside and out of the gender spectrum, my name is Dee, and welcome to episode 3 of Blue Ghosts, Waste Not, Want Not, Sunrise. With me, I have a lovely cavalcade of the most wretched hives of scum and villainy that I could bring to you, and I will go around and introduce them right now, starting with the person on my right, Max.
Hi, I'm Max. Maybe I met you this weekend, and I'm sorry if that's the case. I use he, they pronouns, and here on this lovely, anxiety-inducing, but in a fun way, stream. I play Bishop of the blue-haired and the they/them variety.
Fantastic. And next up, we have the ever enigmatic, made over 2 million points in various streams this year. Ryan, how you doing, bud?
What's going on? Ryan or Sphinx. I'm playing Cole, the resident alert. Both are pronouns to he, him.
Oh yeah. And next up, moving down, we have the freshly incarcerated Ari, played by the lovely Madame Gandalf.
Hello, my name is Madame Gandalf. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm excited to bring Ari in today. And Ari in a place that I feel like she's both familiar with but doesn't enjoy.
Fantastic. And next up on the list, we have playing the enigmatic Nines. Becca, how are you?
Good. I'm Becca, I, she, they. I'm playing Nines, our cutter who uses they, them pronouns. If you hear the sound of a cat toy going off, it's because my cats are going wild right now.
God bless.
Yeah.
And joining us, our fabulous lady that we missed so dearly. Janie, how are you?
Hello, I am great. And if you happen to hear a noise in my background, it's because I have 2 mini-me's deciding to make a lot of noise.
Hell yeah. We'll treat it as the background noise of Duskfall. And with that, I believe the morning comes. And everyone who has spent the evening at the hideout, you wake up and you realize that Ari is not there. And I don't believe that Ari is early to rise. So you're fairly certain it'd be weird if she got up before you all.
Well, maybe she went to get coffee for me because I kind of need it. I woke up far too early this morning. I need my beauty sleep.
I mean, should we be nervous about it? I mean, everyone kind of discovered where hideout was. I mean, we fixed it, obviously, but people still knew. Could it be a good night thing?
I wanted a large coffee. She hasn't gotten.
I mean, I can go to the coffee shop and check.
Yeah, thanks.
I find it more likely that she went to visit her work friend. I don't remember her name, but I can make an appearance at the brothel and see if she's around there.
Oh, now I kind of wish I didn't offer to go check the coffee shop. But
well, I need my
I'll
coffee.
check that. Yeah, I'm going. Yeah. Is there a
All right.
local coffee shop?
Absolutely, there is now.
Okay, great.
You head. We can start with you. Sure. You
don't
head
have
down to the too late. You head down to the coffee shop in question, and inside you see that this coffee shop is not very frequented. The docks aren't really a place where most people go to hang out outside of sailors, and most sailors have something a little stronger than coffee to start their days off. So as you walk in, you see this older lady sitting behind the desk, just knitting, and she goes, "Oh my goodness! Come in, young fellow. I don't think I've seen you around these parts before. Welcome."
Hi. Yeah, I don't hang out here often.
Most people don't. So what are you looking for?
Coffee. I didn't get a coffee order. Do I know Katie's coffee order off the top of my head?
This is not the first time Katie sent you to get coffee.
Okay, great. I'll like I presume pull out like a piece of paper that I have like the whole thing written on because I assume it's like a complicated order.
And you see the lady's eyes kind of go wide, and she goes, "Oh my goodness, you actually want coffee? Okay." And you see she like sets a basket down and puts some things away that you can't really see from behind the desk. And she goes, "It'll be just a minute. I'll go brew a pot. You make yourself comfortable."
Okay. What's around me? Is it just like
there are 2 chairs and one of them has a wobbly leg.
what's the how so? Can I investigate this wobbly leg chair and see if I can fix it?
Sure. Yeah, you investigate it and you find like an old phone book and you just shove it under there, right as rain.
Okay, I sit in it.
And as you sit and look around, there's a familiar smell for like just a second. That you can't really quite place. But eventually you do smell the deep burbling sounds of coffee. And as you wait for that, the camera will shift over to Bishop, who's headed to the brothel, I believe.
Yep.
All right. So as you approach, immediately you see the tall-ish woman. She's about 5'10", 5'11". And she's wearing this very, very long, flowy. It almost looks like it was originally a bathrobe, and like more fabric was sewn onto it to make the bathrobe like an exterior coat almost for the internal dress, which is a body contour dress. Yes, and the actual bathrobe jacket flaps are black, and the dress underneath is dark red. Have you been to this brothel before? This is on. This is in, I believe. I want to say that this brothel is in Brightstone, or no, not Brightstone. Excuse me. It's not in a very affluent part of town.
Bishop definitely not like a casual sex haver, so I think they know like that Ari goes there, but they've probably never been inside.
Gotcha. So she immediately approaches and says, "Well, welcome, darling, to my house of pleasures. What can I get for you?"
I'm just looking for my friend, Ari, and Bishop will describe the last outfit in which they saw Ari wearing.
As she actually finishes the description of the outfit that Ari was wearing and says, Yes, I know Ari quite well, darling. She's not here and she hasn't worked with us. She's on a bit of a hiatus. Are you one of her new work friends?" Silkshore, you are correct, Ryan. Yes, thank you.
Yes, I know that some of her friends still here, and sorry, you're pretty. Yes. I just wanted to know if she stopped by because she wasn't at the hour where we work this morning.
And she nods and goes, "Darling, you can let your eyes rest in one place. You won't combust into flame." And she'll grab you by the wrist and just sort of lead you towards the stairs and say, "I don't know where Ari would be, but I can let you talk to Nirix, and she probably has a better idea."
I knew it started with an N.
And she knocks on the door slightly, and Nirix says, "I'm not available yet. It's too early." And she goes, "Nirix, dearest." And immediately you hear the pitter-patter of feet as the door opens, and Nirix is not wearing anything. And she says, "Yes, mother." And she looks at you, just like sort of like does an up and down. She goes, "This is one of Ari's friends. Apparently Ari was not where she was supposed to be this morning in some way, shape, or form. And you see Nirix's face go pale. And she says, "Right. I'll talk to this one, Mother. Thank you." And as she leads you into the room, she goes to close the door, and you see the matron of the house put her foot in the door to stop it from closing and say, "With all due respect, darling, I don't know this person and they haven't paid anything, so the door remains open." And she takes a seat outside of the room. And Nirix looks you up and down and goes, so Ari, she's what, missing or?
Well, we were working on something. We had finished, and Bishop is like eyes at the sky.
Mhm.
We had finished, and we were supposed to be like off, like we don't have another job yet. But she wasn't here this morning, and I slept kind of later than usual, and she's usually around. And I know that she comes to see you, so I thought maybe this is where she was, but clearly she isn't.
No, but there was a man who came here early in the morning. Well, I suppose late. It was a Detective LaRose. He said he was investigating a murder of one of my clients who had been here recently. I knew something about that didn't feel right. I mean, Ari asked me to get, oh, for God's sakes. And you see she puts on a robe and like ties it and says, Ari, it's the same person that Ari wanted information on. She said it was related to a job you were all working.
Oh, I know the fellow in that case. Well, not personally, but she's not responsible. So that's worrisome.
Well, obviously she's not responsible. As if Ari would kill someone.
You said this was Detective LaRose?
That's how he introduced himself, yes. Sort of a stuffy guy, blonde hair, coffee.
Oh, God. And he was looking for her.
He was looking for information on the murder of Dr. Baxter.
Of the same guy.
He was a client of mine, but I don't think it's a coincidence that I gave information of him to Ari, and now Ari's missing. Oh, God. And she goes and sits down at her vanity.
Don't worry. Okay, that doesn't sound convincing.
No.
I have like guns and stuff though, so it'll be fine. Not on me. I didn't bring them. But at home.
She smiles at you and goes, "You've never stepped foot in a brothel, have you?"
Not even once, not ever. Not really popular where I come from.
That sounds so boring. You should. It can be quite fun. You pay us for our time, not necessarily specifically sexual services. I have several people that I just listen talk to.
Oh fuck! Should I be paying you? They start,
No,
like, going for their
You don't have to pay me for information related to Ari. Ari is family. I'll do anything to help her. And
Well,
he pulls out this long cigarette and starts slipping like black gloves on and says, well, if you're not very comfortable around brothels, you may want to leave. I kind of have an appointment soon.
yeah. If I don't find her by next light, I'll come let you know.
I'll tell the ladies to keep an eye out. Before you leave, can you zip this up for me? And you see she's wearing a corset that is lingerie. And she just... You can tell by how long her arms are, she probably could zip it up, but she's asking you to.
Yeah. And they like kind of know how to do this. Like
Mhm.
it's just formal wear. It's just formal wear. And they lace up the back and pull it and tie it.
And while you are very close to her, she turns with very little space in between you and says, I don't believe I got your name.
Bishop,
Isha.
like the chess piece.
Nice to meet you. And she turns and goes back to her vanity and starts applying her makeup.
Okay, it was nice meeting you, and you, matron, yeah, I gotta go make, yeah, Ari, they leave.
All right. And as you exit from the brothel, we'll check in with our crew member who doesn't live in the hideout. Cole, what are you doing this morning?
This is usual routine. Usually wakes up, does a few exercises, gets breakfast, and then heads to the hideout usually.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a skulk roll.
It would roll.
Sorry, give me 1 second. I knew when I said skulk, it didn't sound right. Let me pull up
Prowl?
the character sheet. Yes, prowl. There you go.
Two.
Okay. So you're which is appropriate because you're not really focused on being sneaky. You're just exercising. But as you are, you see that you manage to clock a man in a very nice suit with a scarf and a black fedora with a white stripe around it. Is sort of just standing at the end of the block, and you just jog past him, and then he's standing at the end of the next block, and then he's standing at the end of the next block, and you're certainly being followed in some shape or form.
Is he following behind me or is he always in front of me?
He's in front of you every time.
Yeah, after the third time, he'll just confront the guy. Like, do you need me for something?
Well, I think I might. Mr. Cole, right? Nice to meet you. He extends a hand.
He'll shake it. Yeah.
My name is Kane Richardson. I don't think we've had the pleasure just yet. But I wanted to congratulate you. I always appreciate business being done properly.
What kind of business?
The kind of business that you won't agree to and that I won't bring up in public.
Well, thank you.
Your crew was certainly a question mark, so it's good to know that no more amateurs have joined the fold.
Try to do my best.
Indeed. Seem to have a pretty tight-knit crew. Pulled it off, and the Bluecoats don't seem to be any the wiser. Well, except for one thing.
And
Do y'all work with a cleaner, Cole?
not that I know of.
I didn't think so. You see, that doctor that you managed to come into contact with wound up floating in the river this morning.
That's all.
Curious indeed.
He's alive when I last saw him.
Yes, and I think that's part of the problem. I think someone's trying to pin unnecessary heat on you and your gang.
It's troublesome.
Indeed. In fact, if my sources are good, and they usually are, I'm pretty sure one of your folks was already taken down to the station just this morning, and not the one at the docks.
Yeah, he just gives this dude his full attention at that mention.
It was, yeah, the working girl, Ari. But once you get all that handled, and you see he reaches into his jacket pocket and pulls out an envelope that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got 5 small circular somethings inside it. Once you handle all that, which I'm sure you're capable enough to do, besides the evidence they have is circumstantial at best, come meet me for dinner. Bring your crew. Let's get acquainted. Just because we're all playing the same game doesn't mean we have to be on opposite teams, right?
We'll see. Do I owe you for this information?
Of course not. Let's call it the first plank of a bridge. And he pulls out this hand-rolled, I don't know why I'm trying to talk in coded language. He pulls a blunt out and lights it and starts to puff on and says, "Never got the whole runner's high thing." And he turns and starts to walk just down the street. And you watch every time he passes a street corner, 3 people come out from the intersection and start following behind him until there are about 12 people that are that look like big tough goons, like his personal bodyguards that you hadn't clocked until they came out of hiding.
He'll note that and he'll head straight for the hideout.
All right. And at the hideout, I believe the only one left is Janie. Or excuse me, Katie. Apologies.
Yeah, Katie is still getting ready.
Okay.
I
So
searched to see if she could track any of Ari's devices.
So you can step into Ari's room. Alex, what does Ari's room look like on a normal day?
On a normal day, she's kind of done it up nicely. It's got she's got the 4-poster bed with some red velvet or more maroon, I guess, that dark wine red sort of draping around it, in a nice little sheer sort of draping. And she's got the big Victorian mirror sort of dresser. What was it? A vanity, where it's the little desk and the mirror and a little stool and things like that. It looks almost like it's fancy, but she's clearly kind of grabbed bits and bobs from different parts of the city that she's found. The vanity, it may look fancy, but if you look carefully, there's lots of chips of wood out of it and a few scratches. And the same with the 4-poster bed. There's chunks of the wood missing and a few holes even in the curtains. It's a poor man's attempt at dressing for the job you want, not the job you have.
Fantastic. So as Katie steps into here, you said you're just trying to look for anything she might have left that gave a clue as to where she was going. You canvass the room a bit, and you don't manage to spot anything. It's no possessions that you wouldn't be surprised that Ari owns, really.
Okay, so I'm going to borrow a pair of shoes.
Yes, please.
There's plenty. All heels. None of them are comfortable.
This is Katie, so she's going to pick a pair that's really uncomfortable, but goes with an outfit that she's not wearing. So she's going to borrow the shoes. she's going to change her outfit, and then she's going to just go out and see if she can find what happened to her coffee.
Okay. Before you exit the room, make me an attune roll.
Okay, that means I actually have to pull the sheet up that I forgot to pull up.
Is okay.
Um,
I did. Don't feel bad. I also forgot to pull a sheet up.
Let me see. You said attune?
Yes.
Goodness. What did I roll for attune? I see. Oh, I have 1 dice for that.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it and tell me what you get. And don't forget, if you're chilling in chat and you've got some viewer points, you can give out advantages. You can add die to people's pool. All that's available in our rewards points for those lovely channel point redemptions. Hydrate. God bless. What'd you roll?
4.
So you almost miss it. But there's just, as you stand at the threshold of the door, with a pair of gorgeous stilettos, like ready to go finish your outfit, it's hard to describe. It's like that feeling you get when there are eyes on you. And you don't know how you know, but you know there are eyes on you. And it pulls you toward the headboard. Like you turn and you just look at the headboard. And as you step closer to it, you sort of slide one of the pillows out of the way. And you see scratched into the headboard, there's that weird sign that Bishop and Ari were staring at for some reason in the rotted house. I need you to roll me a roll me a d20.
Okay.
Breaking system conventions.
You just want to keep me surprised.
Yeah, I gotta keep you on your toes.
Okay, 14.
14. Okay, so you look at the sign, and there, for a second, you can swear you hear like whispering almost. But then you realize you still have to finish getting ready, and you're like, whatever.
Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to shrug and go get ready so I can find my coffee, which I wanted several minutes ago.
Fantastic. With that, we jump to Ari. Ari, your head is swimming as you're looking down at the pointer finger of your left hand, and the nail, unlike the rest of your well-kept nails, is chipped and jagged, and there's just a little bit of blood. And you wonder what you did in your sleep. Miss Serana, hello.
Sorry, I got a hangnail.
Yes, we're kind of in the middle of something here. So break it down for me one more time. Where were you yesterday?
I was at a nice fancy event, having a nice fancy time with nice fancy people. I know,
Yes.
shocking.
Yeah, you mentioned your connection with someone in Six Towers. Still working on getting that confirmed, but so you claim to have never met Dr. Lyman Baxter.
Not at all. I was at a party, which I was invited to, by the way.
Mm-hmm. And what about your friend Nirix? Was she invited? Was she present?
No, she was doing the things that Nirix always does.
Well, I happen to know that one of the last people to see Dr. Baxter alive was Miss Nirix. And when I talked to her, she basically confirmed that you were going to go and meet up with Dr. Baxter.
Do I look like I need a doctor? Do I look sick? Do I
All right.
look like I am going through dysentery or something?
Cut the bullshit. All right. We both know that something knocked over the Dr. Leonard Church Research Institute's transport yesterday that mysteriously disappeared and no one knows where. The bog spawn don't do shit quietly. The Comortons don't have reach in Six Towers, and the Broken Sparrows, well, this is above their pay grade. It was you and your friends. I already know it. Just admit it, and maybe we can cut a deal.
I'm so flattered that you think that I have the strength to do something like steal a whole damn thing. I mean, I haven't worked out in a long time. This flattery will get you everywhere, you know.
He sort of sits back and clicks his pen a couple of times. And he goes, says in a voice that is familiar, but not his. He says, this is only the beginning, sweet cherub. And everything goes dark, and his form shifts to that man with the ratted fishing hat on. And suddenly the chair is a rocking chair. And he says, you know, there was a time when people feared gods, when we thought that they controlled things as science now explains. Some say that the world breaking was the gods' punishment for our hubris. But I wonder, is to call oneself's god not the peak of hubris in and of itself? So either the gods are hypocrites, or they're just mortals playing at divinity. And then your vision comes back into focus, and you see it's just LaRose standing there with a cup in hand. Oh, that's rain. I'm like, what is that noise? Sorry. You see the Dr. LaRose
Atmosphere.
yeah, Detective LaRose is sitting there, standing there with a cup in hand and said, so I take it that's a no on the water refill, then?
Bring me something stronger.
Are you all right?
Headaches, migraines, if you will.
Huh. And he turns and walks out of the room and closes the door. And you are left sitting by yourself.
And she just mutters to herself, he who still believes himself a god, do not fall gracefully.
And as you sort of say that to yourself, you're looking down at the table, just sort of muttering to yourself. But from where the rocking chair would have been, you start to hear it creak as though it's rocking back and forth. And with that, Nines, you return to the hideout. You beat Cull there by about 45 seconds. Bishop is only a minute behind you all as you all reconvene. Nines, you put together fairly quickly that that coffee shop is also like a drug house.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
there's many drugs available for purchase there, and no one actually gets coffee when they go in there.
Hey, good morning. How's it going? Great talk.
And Cull and Bishop, you are also back at the hideout at around the same time Nines gets there.
Did anybody find her?
No. Found a drug house.
Yeah, she's been arrested.
Yeah, I think she might have. I talked to Nerix, and she said that some detective was in talking about a church guy, Baxter.
The guy with the key.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. And, police are stupid, but maybe not that stupid. So.
So if we all show up there, they're gonna be like, that's sus. These are some sussy bakas if we just show up there.
Ugh. Absolutely horrendous.
Cole will take
I
out the.
think you should go, Nines.
Me?
Yeah.
Do you want him, the detective, dead? Because I'll kill him. But I don't know what me going's gonna. Me? I don't.
Well, it's not going to be me. Have you seen me?
Yeah, you're like cool. Like,
You're not wrong.
Okay, appreciated, guys, but
I
Cole
mean,
will take out those 6 metal pieces. What do they look like?
So looking at them, they appear to be like curved brass that has a jewel set in the center. The crystal doesn't appear to be worth particularly much. It almost looks like a piece of a medallion that hasn't been hung to a chain yet.
the fuck is that?
Yeah, I was given this by the same person who gave me the information about Ari.
Who was that? Just like a rando?
Kane Richardson.
Leader of the Commordans, Kane Richardson?
Yeah. Apparently wants to get to know us a bit better.
Mm.
and you told him?
Not
Do you
much.
know why?
I mean, we kind of got help from him before, right? So,
Probably wants
Just
to
because you
make
do
use of
business
us.
together doesn't mean you know people, but I
that's like
suppose.
why you do like business dinners and shit. It's not for like actually getting to know people. So,
You guys
I
do
don't know.
business dinners.
He says he likes
it's
the way
like
we do
rich
business.
people that shit. Yeah. Oh, speaking of rich people shit, I need to give Katie her coffee or I'm gonna die. I'm gonna go try to find Katie.
All right. You managed to hand the coffee off to Katie. Katie, it is exactly to your specifications. And hot as it could be, considering the trek.
Absolutely perfect. Now we need to find, and I'm wearing Ari's shoes because they go with my new outfit. Now we need to
Amazing.
find Ari so that I can ask to borrow her shoes.
She's in jail. That's what we're
Okay.
talking about
Oh.
out there.
Let's get her out.
Okay.
I'll go get my suit.
I mean, are we just all gonna go there? Or are we gonna like break out, or are we gonna like talk it
Well,
kind of out?
if you want her released, you want me.
Mhm.
If you want her broken out, that can be someone else's problem.
Okay, do you like need bail money or something, or
No,
We'll
money
find
doesn't.
out when we get there, I guess.
Hmm.
She didn't actually kill him. Might not be that difficult to get her off.
Right now, technically, she's just in holding. They shouldn't be allowed to keep her there for more than 24 hours without actually issuing a charge against her. So right now, there should be no bail to be paid unless they've already charged her, in which case we're in deeper shit.
okay? So you don't need any money for it.
Hypothetically, yeah.
Well, I'm going with you because I'm all dressed up, but and I have to go somewhere. You can't just. I can't just leave this at home.
We all gonna go, or just the two you want to go? So it's like less of the gang's all here threat. Who's our friend?
It
I
probably
think
shouldn't be
it
all of
is.
us.
I agree. It's unwise to have us all in one building, especially if someone's looking for us. Can the two of you maybe go try to find that Leviathan ship?
Certainly try.
Got plenty of daylight left. Just a thought. We didn't see it down at the docks over here.
Just in case, I think everybody should take one of these, and it'll hand each person one of the metal pieces.
And that does leave you with an extra one, you would presume, for Ari. And also for Janie and anyone who did not see the last episode, part of the loot was a deed to a lot space that is now a pier company that keeps various boats in their storage, and also the deed to a Leviathan ship. But both of those things are up in White Crown, which is where you'd have to go if you were interested in pursuing that.
How much of like a trek would it be to get to White Crown?
If it's 8 a.m. now, you'd probably return to the hideout. Well, depending on how long the actual conversation takes. Travel time wise, you're going to be gone until at least 1 p.m. Because you have to get all the way to the bridge, be processed, cross it, go where you're going, and then the same process to come back.
I mean, we could certainly go, but like, if you're in deeper shit, and if like Ari's in deeper shit than like we're expecting, then it might be nice to have us available again, you know?
Real quick.
Yeah.
Nikki, Janie, if you are not about to talk, could you mute yourself so we don't get the feedback?
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Yes, as you were saying, Nines.
We'd certainly go, but we'll be gone at least until 1 p.m.
So
where did they find the body? Did Kane say?
In the pier.
We could check that out, see if there's anything there that like Ops didn't find or anything.
That might be good to check out.
I mean, because it is still weird that, a target that we kind of hit is dead.
Yeah, Kane seems to think someone's setting us up.
Oh, wow. Tommy Tukench gave us a twisted job and left out information. Oh.
Yeah.
Fucking hate that guy.
Not a great one. So, do we want to do that? Do we want to go check out the ship? If it's even there? What do y'all think?
We
Okay.
split up, we get it done.
Which option?
Boy.
I'd say go check out the pier. Again, I'm worried they might not even let us into White Crown.
Yeah.
I don't want you guys to be at the same risk as Ari might be at. So do what you're comfortable with.
Get in a fight.
There's a
So
lot
you're-
I'm comfortable with.
We can go check out the pier. I think it should be fine. Like, they've already theoretically got their person for it. All right.
I even find out who could have put the body there in the first place.
All right. So Nines and Cull are headed to the pier and perhaps White Crown later. And then Bishop and Katie are headed to the station. Sounds good. Let's start with the pier crew. So y'all walk outside, and by this point, the sun is at least a little out. The piers are beginning to bustle with the returning fishing ships and things like that. And you approach the dock. The immediate like smell and feel of salt water and the heaviness of being so close to like the humidity in the air and such immediately strikes you. And you see more blue coats than usual in this area. And there is one in particular that's standing, looks like on guard by a particular section. But the place is not roped off, which catches your attention as weird. Like people are just walking past the guard and getting fairly close to where you assume the body is or was. And yeah, they just kind of like let them walk to and fro.
You just want to fit in with the crowd, walk by. Okay.
Yeah, something seems odd. Yeah.
All right.
All right. So y'all are just trying to like walk past and get a cursory glance as you go.
Yeah.
All right, both of you roll me a survey check. Okay, that's a 1 for 9s.
The 2.
Okay. So you walk past a little bit, and you can't really get a glimpse of anything. The water is.
Wait, didn't we get a +2 earlier? Can I use
You
that?
did. You did. You absolutely can bump it up to 4. Sure.
Nice.
Shout out to Chaotic Darby for the point redemption. So with a 4, you're walking past and you don't see much of anything. The water is mostly empty and there's not obviously a body still floating in it. What you do notice, just barely, Cull, is as you're walking past the guard, he sort of turns his head, and on the left side of his neck, you see a river spawn tattoo. Just barely peeking up from under the collar.
You won't say anything while they're within earshot.
For sure, for sure.
You just keep walking along normally.
All right.
Yeah, they have river spawn tats.
So, are they impersonating a god, or is a god in the river? Wait, in the river spawn, yeah. Them impersonating doesn't really. Neither really sounds like a thing that they do, right?
Yeah,
Seems weird.
it'd be difficult for them to get anyone into the blue coats.
Yeah.
Then again, knowing them, they probably killed blue coats and took the uniforms.
No, yeah, that sounds actually about right. Yeah.
But why?
I mean, we fucked him over pretty bad. We told him about a fake thing and reaped all the benefits while they got kind of shafted with a flamethrower.
Also, like, why are they still here in the area?
I don't know. Maybe they got like trapped in their game. You know, you're pretending to be someone, they just like are like, go do this other thing now. I don't know.
And they're standing around a particular spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you want to stake them out, or
Totally.
Okay. Just try to find a shady spot, somewhat out of view.
Cole, you know that there's actually a place right around here that would have a pretty perfect view from the inside. It's this old coffee shop that you've never been into on the piers, but there's a window that you'd be able to sit down and watch them through.
Yeah. Never come over.
All right. Y'all hole up in the coffee shop, and you see...
Same coffee shop?
Oh, absolutely. You see the
Okay,
old
great.
woman whose name is Gertrude. She goes, I knew you wanted drugs. Come in, come in. And the camera will pan over to the Bluecoat station where Bishop and Katie are walking in. Katie, you've... Bishop, stop me if anything I say is incorrect. But Katie, you've never seen Bishop outfitted like this. And you knew that they used to be a lawyer of some degree, but they really are like fitting the part visually right now. Despite the fact that they look a little uncomfortable and antsy wearing the suit, they look very, very comfortable in the role that they're about to take up.
You clean up very nicely.
Is it a compliment?
Yes, it's quite a compliment.
Thank you. I hate doing it, but I will for her.
It's very good to... Do you have a business card?
No. Well, I guess this suit's kind of old, and they open the inside and like fish around a pocket, like some gum, a receipt, and then like a few business cards. Hypothetically, yeah.
Katie
And they
takes,
hold it up.
Katie takes one and like puts it into her bag. Thank you.
Like, I'm not practicing anymore though. Like, this is just to get Ari out of jail.
Yeah, you don't have to be practicing. You just have to look the part. You do.
Yeah.
You have the knowledge.
All right. Here goes.
And you both
Uh,
step into the station proper, and you see the person manning the desk. They're a person of ambiguous gender, hair pulled back into this tight ponytail, like dark-ish skin. They appear to be mixed, and these heavy reading glasses on. Just sort of looking down, and she goes, or they go, welcome. Anything that I can do for you all?
I guess for the audience who just saw Bishop flounder in a brothel in their last scene, it's almost like a completely different person. And I guess a question for D.
Mhm.
Do I know like Ari's last name? Does Ari have a last name, and do I know it?
Ari does have a last name. It's up to Ari if Bishop knows her last name.
I feel like Bishop's been a part of the blue, like our blue ghosts, like long enough that I think they definitely have heard, at least in a couple of passings, Serana.
Okay. So I will approach the receptionist, stand at the desk, and say, good afternoon. I am legal representation for my client, Ari Serana. I believe she's in holding here.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Let me just go get Detective LaRose, and he can take you to the room that she's stationed in. And you see they flip through like a small Rolodex and then get up and scurry off before returning with the very tired looking detective man that Katie you immediately recognize, and Bishop you've seen once before, approaching with a cup of coffee in hand, and says, I was wondering when the reinforcements would arrive.
Reinforcements?
Mm-hmm. You know, the rest of the crew.
The crew?
Right. We're still doing this. Great. This way.
No, I'm late for my manicure and I need her because I have to borrow a few clothing items. And I got a manicure today. I have to go shopping and I have to hire a decorator. So I have a really long list. Would you like to see my list?
No. God, no. All right. I'll take you over there. Just so you know, she's not been charged, obviously, but she was brought in because of her connections to a Dr. Lyman Baxter who showed up dead suddenly this morning over by the docks.
Is she sick?
And where is she being held?
This room right here.
Is she sick? Are you telling me she's sick? What's wrong with her?
No, she's... What? He's not that kind of... I'm not doing this with you. You know what? I will allow you to give your clients legal counsel, but I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Can you bring me a coffee and a ice
Not
cold
how
water?
this works.
No.
Well, he works here, right?
I'm a detective.
Okay, then who's going to bring my coffee?
Just leave it alone, the Rose. She's just trying to work you up. That's all it is. That's all she's
No,
doing.
I want
That's all she's
coffee.
doing. And he just like walks away, and the door is opened. But Ari, there's something. Your head is just pounding, and you can hear your heartbeat in your ears. Just the, and you hear the door to the front of the station open and then close, and you hear the muffled voices that sound semi-familiar. And as you open your eyes, the light is so bright. But as it comes into focus, everything is this ghostly pearlescent blue and like a slowly shimmering aura. And you see a figure walking down the hallway with a coffee in hand. And despite there being no features, you know it's Detective LaRose. But he's out of the room. You shouldn't be able to see him. And you can see far off into the direction where you know there's just a wall in front of you. You see two more ghostly, flickering shapes approach another ghostly, flickering shape. And as they walk toward the room, standing outside of it, you begin to hear LaRose, Katie, and Bishop. You hear their voices, and through the door that you know is closed, you just see them in flickering, almost like flame. And when the door opens, you blink a couple of times, and Bishop is standing there with Katie right behind.
Are those my shoes?
Yes, they went perfect with this outfit. Can I borrow them?
You're right, they do
guys?
perfectly, otherwise I'd be offended.
Oh, we have to get you ready. Oh my goodness. And I heard you were ill.
Nothing, a little bit of copium wouldn't sort out.
We have to get you out of here. This place is just horrible. There's no help. They don't want to bring me coffee.
Now that's the mood. I woke up this morning interrupted in what I am wearing, my skivvies, and here I am, no caffeine, no nothing, no food, and a missing nail.
What? Oh, we have to get that fixed, like right now. Bishop, can we get her out of here so we can fix her nail? It's an emergency.
Oh, sorry. Was I not interrupting your conversation?
It's an emergency.
The emergency is that Ari is being held in a murder investigation.
Well, she obviously didn't do it. Look at her nail. She has to get her nail fixed.
Yeah, but they're cops. Just because she didn't do it doesn't mean that they don't think that she did it. They're cops.
Well, they're idiots.
I know that.
Both are true.
And they didn't let her get dressed. Oh, like she can get so ill like that. She's already ill. She had to see a doctor.
I must say, this is not my favorite of headaches.
And
Okay,
they're not helping her. I want
Let's
to sue them.
talk seriously, please. Because if we want to get you out of here, I need to know what they asked you and what you told them back.
They asked me whether I had been around or near or knew of the doctor. I told them the truth. I was at a fancy party of which I was invited by fancy people.
For
Plenty
future
of people
reference-
saw me there.
Don't tell them anything before I get here, if this is to happen again.
You're right. You're right.
But we were at that party. So it should be as simple as calling in testimony that you were there. So do you recall, do you remember the address, the people's names, so we could call them in?
She does.
Even if
Like-
even if Alex does not, Ari does and has already relayed that information to the Bluecoats. It's just all the way in Six Tower, so they're waiting for the messenger to go
Oh.
get back and forth with the testimony.
Okay.
Luckily, all the information should line up, and there's not a word of a lie that I have told.
That's good. They really showed up and just took you. I mean, I'm not surprised, but ugh.
Many people show up and take me. It's not new.
There, Bishop, there is
awkward, like, oh no, I just been there.
Bishop, there is a very, with that comment in particular, there is like a stinging recognition between Ari and Nirix. Like they are very, very similar to each other. And they've probably known each other for a very, very long time.
And you didn't tell them anything else.
No, there was nothing else to tell, really.
Okay. Well, because hypothetically, then they should release you. But I want to stick around in case they don't.
I appreciate that. If anyone knows how to talk to them, it's you, Bishop.
It's frightening in this group. Incredibly
Oh.
frightening.
But at least your shoes look great with that outfit. She points over to Katie.
Oh, they really do. Can I at least fix your hair? Do you need a jacket or something? Oh my gosh, I can't believe what they've done to you.
You're right. And they're immediately just back at it straight away.
Amazing. Eventually, Detective LaRose does return and open the door, and there's a palpable annoyance on his face and says, alibi checked out. Miss Serrano, you are free to go.
Finally, do you have my coffee?
Right on time.
We will get your coffee on the way home. Thank you for your cooperation, officer.
He works here. He should
Let's-
bring it. I don't understand. Can I talk to your manager?
Hey,
That's not how this works. That's not how this works. The chain of command is Rylan smiling up. I keep falling for it. It's my fault at this point. And you see he just walks away talking to himself. As you all gather and prepare to leave, Ari, you feel that same twinge in the back of your head. And you hear the voice again, but this time it whispers to you. This time it's like someone standing over your shoulder and says, I know you can hear me. Yes, I'm talking to you. Your whole life has been about dedication. Dedication to others. Dedication to your work. I only ask that you dedicate yourself to me. And I will teach you to read the patterns, to peer at the script of the universe. If you follow the buzzards. Alex, I'm going to make you a devil's bargain. 3 times a day, you will be able to activate your ghost sight, which will allow you to see supernatural and living things via the intensity of the magical aura around them. You will also be able to see through walls and see the vague structures of non-living things in exchange for following the buzzards.
Let's do it. Let's follow the birds. Tuppence a bag.
All right. And you hear the voice say, excellent. But you might want to be careful walking out here. And you go unconscious and fall on top of Bishop, essentially. And that's where we're going to take our break for the evening. Hopefully everyone is enjoying themselves. We've got some interesting, spooky, scary skeleton vibes going on. But we're going to take a quick break. We're going to do bios, get some hydration, get up and stretch. And we suggest you do the same and join us back here for the second half of episode 3 of Blue Ghosts. And we'll see you very soon. Bye. right. How's everybody doing? Welcome back to the newest episode of Blue Ghosts. Thank you so much for joining us. Last we left off, Ari fell into unconsciousness after agreeing to become a child of the Buzzards, thanks to a weird voice that was whispering something in their ear. Odd. We're going to swap back over to Cull and Nines. There are no roles necessitated with this, and y'all can RP if there's a conversation you have while you're on stakeout. But I'd say after about like an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, the blue coats are approached by another crowd of blue coats who sort of relieve them of their guard duties. And that group that you're watching just splits off to go back to wherever they were stationed originally, or for some people their shift's over, etc., etc. But they do eventually swap out, and they don't seem to do anything odd in particular. Any particular conversation that y'all have while you're on stakeout, or just kind of watching?
Surprised they have this much patience.
Yeah. Makes me wonder what they're waiting for.
Dump a body in the river and stick around to what exactly?
Then you think they would have done some, if anything, when they saw us walk by. If they saw us walk by, we weren't being particularly stealthy about it.
That's true. Unless they weren't the ones to dump the body in the river.
But then why would they be there unless it's like a hog spawn don't reform? They usually like die for then, right?
Yeah. But I have a feeling we body off. Just have to figure out who.
Yeah.
Someone did take a shot at us before the job.
Yeah. And we still don't really know much about that either. That place got vandalized. Someone's really out to get us.
Yeah. Probably gonna need to do something about that.
Yeah. We just need names and places and they can disappear. We'll make them disappear.
That's what's necessary.
Yeah.
Right. And with that, the guard changes. And for the pair of you, are you returning to the hideout, or are you going to go up to White Crown to check in on the ship?
Do we want to follow that one guard?
That is also an option.
I'm up for it. I trust Bishop and Katie.
Yeah.
All right. The pair of you can make me prowl checks, and I'll say you can add one die to your pool because the streets, you're kind of at peak crowd point in time for this area of town. Okay. Five
five.
nines.
Another two.
Okay. So with as you're following like through the street, Cole, you lose track of this person as they're sort of just like dipping and maneuvering through the crowd. But luckily Nines is able to, you can follow Nines, who seems to being able to track this person as they're moving. Nines, this person is behaving very oddly, and you and Cull had already picked up on this, but for a bog spawn, they are exceptionally good at being very, very elusive. They're quick lefts, quick rights. They dart in between and around people. Not running particularly, but just like slipping around, and you're struggling to keep up a little bit, but you manage to not lose track of the person in question. And eventually they return to this very rundown what is essentially a Motel 6 in the city. And you see they disappear inside.
Want to pay a visit?
Do we know anything about this spot in particular? Or is it just
it's just kind of a rundown, cheap, extended stay motel type situation. If there's anything, you do know that you're currently in the gang's neutral territory where it's not controlled by the Comortons, the Spawn, or the Broken Sparrows. This is the neutral area of the city.
might spot us if we go inside?
Yeah.
Well, if we go inside together anyway.
And going separately. Flutter with them, track them down.
Yeah, I'll come in a little later.
Cool.
Assuming no one's coming in behind you.
Okay. So you take a second to like try and adjust yourself as you go into the motel. You see it's very cramped in here, and there's a large like gated fence between you and the person in question. And they slide the door, the little like hand door open. And he goes, "How long you staying?"
Only about you do have an hourly rate?
Yeah, it's gonna be and they rattle off some like pocket change amount of money.
Yeah. You insist. I'll hand it over.
They hand you a key for a room and a key to the bathroom. There's only one, and it's communal for everyone who stays here.
This person that's like at the door, how what are they? How bribable do they look?
They look like they would sell their mother for the right amount of money.
Yeah. Okay. A person who just walked in. What room are they in?
Can't seem to recall, unfortunately.
I'll pull out like the same amount of money that I basically just paid.
My memory's starting to be jogged.
I'll pull out another amount.
It's gonna cost you about a coin to get this information out of this person. Unless you would like to try and haggle and make a roll for it.
What kind of roll would it be?
It depends. There you can pick between command, consort, and sway.
Do you really want to test me with this right now? Or do you just want to tell me?
And he looks you up and... Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I'm in a mood to break a few fingers, and I'm willing to do so.
You see the hand retracts from the window. Go ahead and roll for command.
Okay. That's going to be a 6.
With a 6, he goes, all right. Fine, fuck's sake. In room 3.
Wonderful. Thanks. And
slides it closed.
Head on it. How many rooms are even in this building?
There are 6, and they're separated 3 and 3 on the 2 floors.
All right. Oh,
It's around this time that Call would then enter. And Call and Nines, y'all are both the larger members of the crew, and it's like cramped. Like Nines has to like essentially have a foot on the stairs as soon as Call walks in.
Mm.
And y'all both make your way up the stairs of the first floor. And room 3 is at the end of the hallway.
okay. What plan? Or plus then, or have fun.
Ryan, I think you're not being picked up by Zoom.
Do we want to bring down more heat?
Not really, but do we want information?
You're right. You're right.
And if it gets too bad, we can just kill him, right?
Wrong. So between the two of you and the shitty, like, repairings of this door, it is not very hard to force the door open. And as you step into the room, you see that the guy is sitting there in his boxers, eating what looked to be like just like a cup of noodles style dish. And he like jumps up and goes, "What the fuck? Listen. Hey. Tell Richardson I'm gonna have his money. I'm working on it. I'm putting it together, all right? We don't need to do this, folks."
I want you to keep talking. Did I say to stop? Keep talking.
Please. I'm begging here, all right? It's
Mhm.
slow money, but it's consistent money. At least I'm making my payments, right? I've been doing much better. Here. And you see he like throws, this place is like fucking pigsty. He like moves a bunch of empty containers over and pulls out like a crumpled bill and he goes, see, right? And that's just for you. Don't even count that on my payments, right?
All right. So, heard you were impersonating an officer today. That's fun.
I wasn't impersonating one. Your boss got me a job in the blue coats.
Right. Still basically impersonating, aren't you? Not really a good one.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, those blue coats, you can't trust them.
Kind of
Not
stick
at all.
out.
Yeah, you might want to look and cover your neck a bit more, eh?
Then you see he like puts a hand up on the tattoo's completely exposed at this point because he's just wearing like a tank top shirt. And he like just covers the tattoo on his neck and says, "This is from a long time ago, all right? Your boss helped me get out of that situation, but that doesn't mean that, you know, the branding magically goes away."
Right. It's understandable, of course. So you don't know what were you there doing today? Or was it cop stuff? We can't talk about it.
There was some fucking doctor guy got dumped into the water. I don't know. They called us over in the early morning.
That's it?
Why are you still there?
That's just what the detective told me to do. He said he was gonna go knock on some doors, or that he suspected someone who had something to do with it was nearby. Listen, I'm just trying to keep this job. I'm so far in the hole.
Right. I'll just kind of look over at Cole.
So do I get to keep my fingers?
Looks like he's thinking about something deeply.
I mean, they look awfully breakable.
Oh, it would be you would expend so much effort.
You really don't know nothing about this body they pulled out of the river. Aside from the fact he's a doctor.
So that's something we're gonna have to worry about.
Let's see. Uh, no, yeah, I don't know anything about it, but the Commodant should be good. The detective said he thought it had something to do with the those new people in town. What are they called? The blue ghosts or whatever?
All right, those assholes.
Hmm.
I've never seen them.
Well, we'll be around.
Yeah. Just keep your neck out, and find any juicy information, and we come knocking again.
Right? Yeah. I'll get a scarf.
Yeah.
And he just watches you very closely as you leave, and the door's fucked. It doesn't even close anymore.
Yeah.
But he just pushes it as closed as it can get. And y'all clomp your way down the stairs.
Morton's putting X bog spawn on the force.
You're an inside man somehow.
Guess so.
And there are too many ways to leave the bog spawn.
Yeah.
Without protection. For our two friends that aren't with us right now.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go check in?
Yeah.
See if they got Ari back?
Yeah. As well.
Okay.
Alrighty. You are making your way back to the fucking hideout, which is also where the three of you, I presume, head with the unconscious Ari in tow.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. And as you, so as Nines and Cull, as you arrive there, you see that Ari is sort of got a bag of ice held to the back of the head, and the eyes are closed, and you see Katie and Bishop there as well.
What the hell happened?
They didn't have my coffee at the police station.
Not about that.
She's fine, I think. They took her in because church guy Baxter dead, but her alibi's cleared. So.
Oh my god.
Is she good?
That I don't know. I think it just might have been the figured I'd let her stay out, but if you want to wake her up, go ahead.
I know to let people sleep. I'm not unconscious.
How did they carry her, by the way? Was it like princess style or like fireman style? Like,
it depends on whether or not Katie is willing to help me.
oh yeah, is it like, London Bridge is falling style? Like,
Katie would adjust your hair and make you look as good as you could.
Okay, so no. Probably fireman style then.
Ready for the casket.
Fantastic.
That's probably not a weird sight in Doskwall.
Nah, definitely
Just casually carrying an unconscious person like down.
Your friend drank all night. Now you got to bring him home. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
All facts. And it's around this time that the person that now all of you can see phases through the wall, and Genevieve steps in and goes, hello. How's everyone doing?
Fine. We'll put like a bell on you or something.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can like.
No, it's good. It's just a bit of a
Right. Kind of weird. Sorry. Um, and she just sort of like floats over toward Bishop and looks at Ari and says, What happened?
Jail. Long morning.
They didn't offer her any water or anything that she needed.
Yes,
So
because
now-
it's the police station. That's
Well, they-
not what they do.
Well, they should. Look at her. Look what they've done
They
to her.
should do a lot of things. They don't do any of them.
Well, no, because they all need to be replaced or just fired. Can I do that? Can I just like pay somebody to fire all of them so we don't have to deal with them anymore?
Mom, please, can you turn the devices back on? Mom, please, can you?
You as you're sort of having this back and forth, and Genevieve settles in and catches up with all of you. Ari, as you are sleeping, you feel yourself walking. You hear the clack of your heels on what sounds like stone, but you're just walking in darkness. And standing next to you, arm wrapped in yours, is the figure from before. And they're dressed the same, but you can make out more details. The skin under the silhouette of the ratted fishing hat is a pallid gray. The lips are extremely thin, almost as though there are no features. And the eyes have a deep yellow color to them. And the voice says, "Gods can manipulate. They can control, they can destroy, they can even create. But no matter how devout or powerful, nothing can tamper with the forces of nature. You cannot stand against the wind. Even mountains themselves cannot withstand the flow of a river that stretches for eternity. You see, a long time ago, there was a world that came before ours, populated by children of darkness, children of the night. They managed to unite and survive the end of that world at the hands of the great dreamer. Ironic, children of darkness becoming beacons of light. They bore this world into existence with a power given to them by the Most High. But all light must cast a shadow. There was a creature older than time itself, a dark and foul being that clung to the shadows of these beacons. The id of the universe. The darkest thoughts of all there ever was and all there ever will be. It calls itself Charlie. Charlie is the darkness, and the Most High is the light. And I am their child. I am the splash of color in the eternal struggle of black and white. I am the gray moral line between good and evil, and I've left my fingerprints on the easel of time for eons. But back in the age of swords and sorcery, before technology's first gasping breaths, Charlie sought to orchestrate my fall. I asked myself, why? Why would you tip a balance that would destroy everything, including yourself? But Charlie is a being of chaos and darkness, a creature that crept its way out of the void, nothingness, strangling, endless nothingness is of great joy to it. You can call me Josiah. or the pattern, if you prefer. It's a pleasure to meet you, Ari. I've had my eye on you for quite some time, and I have my eye on many people, but all of them special in their own way. I'm sure you must have questions.
I'm sure this is a common one, but why me?
You know, it's funny. I weave the fate of the universe. The divine may provide their gifts where they see fit, and the world in and of itself is made of magic that can be manipulated. But I am destiny. I am inevitability. And I don't know why I do the things that I do. It's just instinctual. I'm not sure what part you will play in the story, as I haven't written it yet. But you're certainly a key figure.
All I know is no real god need prove itself. Anyone who tries is mad or lying.
Yeah. Pragmatic. One of your best qualities, in my opinion.
So what do you want of me?
Follow the buzzards. I don't have a job for you. I don't have requests for you. I'm not your patron saint. I'm not a god that you need to worship. Live your life. Do as you will. And you are following the pattern whether you know it or not. What I give to you is the ability to see the pattern. The ability to understand that this world is secular. You either learn from history or you are doomed to repeat it. Now then,
Let us create the future.
indeed we shall. And with that, your eyes sort of bleary come back into focus, and you hear slowly fading in the voices of your various crewmates as you come to consciousness.
Where are we? Wait. But
The hideout.
Somebody get her a smoothie and an ice pack.
and vodka.
Yeah. She needs it like right now.
I will go to retrieve those things to the best of my ability within the hideout.
Feel free
Katie's
to mix
gonna,
them
like-
grossly together.
Katie's gonna like set one of her fancy pillows behind you. She's being really nice.
I mean, you have got my shoes.
Well, I mean, they look great on me. They look better on me. I'm just saying.
I tell you what, your calves. In those.
I've done a lot of work.
Chloe's gonna look into her eyes. You all right?
To be honest, I don't think I felt more alive. But terrified.
Do you remember why you passed out? Like, did you feel like strain on your heart? Did you have a headache? What happened?
Everything goes a blur. every bit of light just becomes one and overwhelms me to a point where I feel like I'm somewhere else, like I am present in another plane. And that's when I hear myself clearer than ever. But I hear someone else even clearer than myself. All I know is I have signs of which I should follow. And should I follow them? It's either going to find me resulting in the best life I could live, or probably, more likely, my ultimate demise. But I will say, I don't think I can resist finding out.
As long as you're safe.
For now.
Well, no demise until next season. Next fashion season.
Gotta be there for the spring formal, you know? Like, we have to be able to make sure that the summer folks feel left behind in how ahead we are of the fashion.
Yes, and we have to coordinate our outfits.
Indubitably.
What kind of signs? Like those things that we keep finding places? Those signs?
All I know is to follow the birds. See how they fly.
A
Call.
lot of
Hey, you totally have a sign on your bed. If that's what you mean.
Okay. Cull, you notice at this point, as you're sort of looking over that envelope, just sort of giving it another once over, you turn it, and as it passes over torchlight, you see letters appear on the face of the envelope briefly. And you hold it back to the torchlight, and it's an address. And the address is a restaurant in White Crown called Foul Blooded. And underneath the address, it says, would love to have you for dinner.
He'll point it out to everybody. So, dinner date.
So we have to go to White Crown.
I guess so.
Can we all dress up for it?
Again,
Is that even a question? I'm surprised you even asked that. You were going to dress up regardless, right?
Right, but I mean the rest of you.
the question was again.
Yeah.
But we just did that.
Okay, I'll order the outfits.
No.
I mean, can't we just wear the same ones we wore to that party?
No. Oh my gosh, no.
You've never seen Katie look more aghast than at the suggestion of that.
The audacity.
You don't wear the same thing twice. Have you ever seen me wear the same thing more than once?
I don't know. I don't keep track. Am I supposed to be keeping track?
You don't keep track?
I mean, I do. This is a great look that you have. I like that it's coordinated with the shoes. Are those are already shoes, aren't they?
Yeah, they look great on me. I borrowed them. But you don't pay attention to.
No, I do.
Okay.
I just I pay a lot of attention to it. I just don't really notice like Nine's looking desperately to everyone
I was
else.
just gonna put an arm on that.
Help.
Stop
Help.
digging.
have to go pick up my new outfit for tonight. I leave. I just like bolt.
You don't understand. Appearance is important. That's the first thing that people see. I've worked so hard at this.
So, eventually, there's a fun clothing montage. Neon Light Roleplay, thank you so much for that raid. Welcome in, Raiders. There is a clothing montage that is mostly Katie just picking out the most ostentatious, elegant, but complimentary outfits for any who desire such things. And yeah, go ahead.
With lots of extra pockets.
Mm.
And like
Amazing.
hidden pockets.
Oh yeah.
She knows what she's doing.
100%. And you all begin to make your journey to White Crown. By the time you're all ready, and based on the time that was on the back of the envelope, you set out at about like 5 p.m.-ish. It's about 5 p.m.-ish by the time you get to the bridge into White Crown. And you see the white coats, who specifically are the equivalent for White Crown to the blue coats. They stop you and say, what business do you have in White Crown?
We have a dinner reservation at the, what was it, the Foul something?
Foul-blooded.
The Foul-blooded.
And they sort of nod and go, identification, please.
Need identification for me?
Oh, I will
Yes.
flash the metal piece to them.
You see it, and the guy looks a little confused at first, but then the person behind him says, you're free to go. Going through, and just turns and goes back to looking at the streets. And the guy goes, but they're free to go. I guess have a nice rest of your evening. And as y'all walk across, the bridge to White Crown is, it sort of has this dichotomous beauty to it. It's constructed out of mostly metal, but the boards are actually wooden planks. And as you step out over the dark sea, you can see outside to where the sun once was, the sort of grim halo. It's almost like an afterburn mark is all you can really see of the sun anymore. And the black lapping waves of the water across. And every once in a while, there are flickers, just flashes of electricity through the air from the arcane shield that protects the city of Duskfall from the creatures of the sea that it is currently sat in. And you continue down the path, and eventually y'all arrive to the section of White Crown. For those who haven't been, which I think all of y'all have been to White Crown at least once, right?
First time for Cole.
Okay. So Cole, you do notice that White Crown is pretty much exactly what you pictured it to be. It is unnecessarily ostentatious. There are shows of money everywhere, simply through the architecture and the design of buildings. For the higher spired buildings in this section, you can almost see the dick measuring contest of, look at my unique design. And it's like, oh, well, look at my unique design for my tower. And it feels like old, unearned riches. That's just the vibe of White Crown. Yeah, y'all are in the city of White Crown. What would you like? City. You're in the district of White Crown. What would you like to do?
How much time do we have before dinner?
You've got about an hour 25.
So Katie's absolutely dragging everything about this district. Everything.
Perfect.
We could check out the port, see if that ship's around.
It's a good idea.
Just make sure you don't get tetanus from anything they might leave laying around.
Right, yeah, I won't touch anything.
You might need to hold your nose for the smell.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So y'all make your way over to the pier in question. And you see this fairly stuffy looking gentleman with very tightly pulled back hair that's shaved on the sides, wearing this violet and white suit and not suit, blazer and undershirt, and a tie on as well. Looks up and says, "Can I help you? Hello. Good day."
Oh, were you talking to us?
Yes.
One of you deal with this.
We were here to look out for one of our lady's newest acquisitions, newest purchase. Does one of us have the deed on us? I would assume if we knew.
I would assume that one of you brought it, probably. Yeah.
It's like, I'll kind of show at least like the port number part of it. I'll probably like have my hand over. Does it say it belongs to Leonard Church on it?
It says that it is transferred from Leonard Church.
Okay.
So I was under the assumption that y'all just like filled in one of your names as the recipients on both docks. And you see he sort of looks at it and he goes, "That lot number." He reaches down and pulls up a book and starts flipping through pages and says, "Yes. Interesting. I'm going to need to verify this paperwork, if you don't mind."
Goodness. I knew this would happen. This is like, how long have you worked here?
I've worked here for around 3 years, I'd say. And this ship and this lot number has been abandoned for much longer than that. So just give me 1 second. Now. I will go grab my manager and we'll get this sorted out properly. And he disappears behind the desk. And eventually,
is there anything else around the room that like can?
So this pier it's open. It's on the side of the street. Okay. It's sort of like this well-built, essentially like hut structure that extends out into the pier itself on the water. It's very lavish, very unnecessarily like velvet and a super nice vase that could just be a regular one. Yeah, it's just very perfumed, very manicured. And you see this shorter woman step out, and she does not fit the surroundings whatsoever. This is a woman with a deep, long scar that starts at the base of her eye and goes all the way down and wraps under the chin. She's wearing heavy glasses. Hair is an absolute disaster. And she's got these thick fishing gloves on as though she was descaling and gutting a fish. She walks up and she goes, "All right, let me see the deed."
Sorry to bother you.
Yeah, but you did it anyway. And she like looks at it and goes, "Huh. She looks at you all and squints. She goes, out of curiosity, where'd you get this deed? Hello? Anybody?
Got
Why does it?
a business trade with one of our associates. Not that it really matters.
I mean, I guess it isn't my business, and this is our peer. Whatever happened to Dr. Church? Haven't seen him in years. And you see she pulls out a couple of documents and starts writing things down.
Running like a technological institute over on Six Towers.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Some real nerd shit. Listen, I don't want to be rude here, but as someone who served for over 4 decades on one, none of you look like you've ever even been aboard a Leviathan ship. It's not my business what you rich folk get into, but I am legally required since it's kept in my pier. Don't take the thing out for joyrides. These are dangerous warships. Get a crew that knows how to fill it. I'm sure you can afford it. And, congratulations on the new ship. Do you want to rechristen it? Should we give it a new name?
Yes.
Bad luck.
Not necessarily. Depends on if you believe in things like luck.
Taken.
Well, Katie, it sounds like you wish to name the ship. Do
Well, obviously.
you have a name in mind?
Can I see the ship from where we are?
She can take you to it if you request.
Yeah. Take me to my new ship.
Yeah, all right. Right this way. And as you walk down the steps to the pier, you see very many, very large, elegantly crafted Leviathan ships. For those of you who have never seen one before, they're outfitted with large cannons and weaponry, and some look very dangerous, while others look like pieces of modern art on the water. And she takes you to one that is this large, dark cobalt blue with deep golden lines etched into the filigree. It seems a little light on the weaponry, and it is about a middle size comparatively. There are larger ships and smaller ships. And on the side of it, you do see that it's currently
The Freelancer, right?
Yes, it is currently branded with the name and says the Freelancer.
Oh yeah, this name will not do at all. What about the Azure Phantom?
And you see the lady kind of nods and goes, "Azure Phantom. All right. I'll get someone to cover it up with the proper painting and we'll get the proper name etched onto there. Shouldn't take us more than the end of the day."
And you'll hire the crew for me?
I can field you some reliable contacts, sure.
Okay, give the one of my people will deal with that part.
Certainly. All right. Well, if you're staying in White Crown or if you're leaving White Crown, then should be good to go by the end of the day.
Okay. People,
Right.
take care of this, please.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
And she ambles over and says, "Now, if you're looking for just hiring a crew to keep them on retainer, it won't cost you anything. I'll get you the name of your contacts, and you can contact them at your leisure. If you want this thing up and running, it's been a little while, so I would recommend that you at least do a once-over for maintenance, make sure that everything's adjusted, and they can let you know when they're all done with that. That service usually crews charge about 1 coin. If they try to charge you more than that, they're fucking robbing you.
All right. Yeah. We'll probably at the moment get it maintenanced and then have a crew on retainer. Just
Alright.
to be sure. We have no immediate plans to sail out, but we always want to be on standby just in case.
All right, sounds doable. And you see that she's just taken like a grease pen that was in the pocket, and she's just writing like notes on what you're saying down just into the palm of her hand. And she clicks that pen, tucks it behind her ear, and extends a hand to you specifically, Nines, and goes, Griselda Lane, by the way.
Nines Romtal, at your service.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I'm going to go get started on this order and let you folks get back to whatever it is you're going to be doing.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And she ambles away.
Cool.
You handled that very well.
Thank you. I know a thing or two about talking to people one time or another. Usually not. I usually say something dumb. Do we
That's
need
it
dinner?
then.
Sorry. She's I'm gonna hand you like a wipe or something for your hands.
Oh. I just like Nines like goes to kind of just like wipe it on their pant leg and then like looks down at whatever like nice material it is and takes the and right.
For sure. Bishop, you were going to say something?
I was gonna say, no, that's it. We just have a warship now.
We just have a warship with a crew that we can call at any point. I guess we should probably take that 1 coin out of our like crew coffers. We got 8 points from the last mission, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're spending 1 coin out of the coffers for maintenance to the Azure Phantom. Sounds
What a
good.
incognito name. Just like, I wonder who took the thing.
Yeah.
No, see, it can't be the Blue Ghost because they named the ship the Azure Phantom. That's a completely
totally
different.
It's totally
Totally
different. Totally different. Yeah, so the maintenance on the ship, it'll be ready next sunrise for anything that y'all would like to do with it. But in the more immediate time, we have the dinner that is slowly encroaching at the Foul-Blooded. And as y'all arrive to the place, you see that this building is completely red. All the way back, it's this solid dark crimson. And you see that there is no full name. There's just a very calligraphic F and B on the front. As you see that someone is waiting by the door. And as Katie approaches, they notice Katie and they open the door and go, you must be the guests for inside. Welcome to the Foul-Blooded. My name is Kenneth. If you need anything, please let me know and I will handle it as quickly as possible.
We all need waters.
Absolutely. Anything else?
Yes, a bottle of wine.
Absolutely. I will get you our finest vintage.
And here's my coat.
Thank you. I will take care of that. And they hook it under one arm as they hook it under the other arm while they're holding the door open. They are very, very ready for dealing with a whole wave of customers. As they hold the door open, they say, Master Richardson has rented out the entirety of the restaurant beforehand and has set up a dining table for you all in the main dining room, which is this way if you would follow me. And she will also go to everyone else for their coats if they give them to her.
Katie just had like one ready to give. I
Oh,
think.
absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, before we walk in, Cole will mention to everyone to watch what they say, and he mentioned the bodyguards that he saw earlier.
Yes, indeed. And as you enter, you see that sitting alone at the head of this table, this long white dining table that is set up very, very nicely with enough chairs to perfectly seat each of you. You see Kane Richardson is standing there smoking on another one of his hand-rolled blunts, and he stands up and says, "My esteemed guests for the evening." And for those of you who have not seen Kane Richardson, this is like a 6'2" black man with a shaven, completely bald head, and a very, very dark, like chin strap into sideburns setup. And he is currently wearing this deep crimson suit, and the undershirt is this chocolate brown color with a black tie. And he sort of stands up and rebuttons the suit and says, "Well, my esteemed guests, I'm glad that you could join me. Please take a seat."
Does
Thank
the
you for
waiter?
having us.
Sorry.
No, go.
Does anybody pull the seat out for Katie? Like somebody that works there?
If you go to the seat and just wait next to it, eventually one of the servers does run up and like pull the chair out for you.
Yeah, Katie's just going to wait for them to pull the chair out for her.
And as that person sort of like steps up, you all realize that what must be every waiter / waitress in the entire restaurant is just standing there, like hands crossed, just waiting to see if any of you need anything.
Can I go to like the nearest
Sure.
server to me?
Yes.
Don't you get bored just standing here? Like, how long do you have to do this? When does your shift end? Do you have a shift? Does it end? You just here?
Yes. No, I have a shift that ends. Y'all are the only customers tonight, so we wouldn't really be doing anything anyway. But we're all getting bonus pay to be here, so fuck it. I'll stand and watch you eat.
Okay, I like that. And Bishop will awkwardly pat them on the shoulder and go sit in their own seat.
All right. And as you all take your seats, Kenneth reappears, and he's got the bottle of wine, which he sets down on the table. And she says, "And shall we proceed with the first course now that your guests have arrived, Master Richardson?" And he says, "Yes, of course. And like I said, Kenneth, just call me Kane. We're all friends here, right, folks?"
Of course.
To new friendships. And he holds up the wine glass.
L'chaim.
And
Friendships.
you each sip at the wine. And for those of you who like red wines, it's a very, very fine, smooth taste. Yeah,
Give me the tasting notes, G.
absolutely
Give me the
not.
tasting
I am
notes.
It's a
far from a
gorgeous
sommelier.
Shiraz with fruity scents, but a nice, like, oaky aftertaste.
Sure.
Ooh, the oaky.
Why not?
Okay, Ben.
Absolutely.
okay, Ben.
This is like when I play D&D with a horse girl and she wants a mount. And I'm like, "You get on the horse." And she's like, "Nah, details. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
but
"I don't
that was your
fucking-"
own problem.
But as you all sit down, Kane says, "Now, I didn't have the pleasure of introducing myself to the rest of you. I did manage to talk to Mr. Cull here, but to officially introduce myself, my name is Kane Richardson. I'm somewhat of the head of the Comorden family here in Doskval. I hear that you all have made good use of the starting capital that we gave you to move things along a bit quicker."
Certainly helped.
Very
Of
appreciative.
course. Yes, very well done work the other day. It's not ever so often that you get to see such a well executed job, no less. The bog spawn being the fall people, that was both smart and not the wisest thing.
Every job requires sacrifice
Of course.
on both ends.
And some pieces are worth more than others, and considering I don't know exactly what it is you made it out of there with, I will assume that you had the wherewithal to weigh your options accordingly. But I will warn you that Yode Hill is no one you want to make an open enemy of. The bog spawn are willing to go far lower than most civilized folk are.
I think we kind of got that message.
It's not a very hard one to come across. But I'm wondering if you've had an encounter with our other newer friend, the good Miss Revolt. Have you had a chance? Well,
So the
don't let
doctor,
me.
right?
No. Jameson Revolt is the leader of the Broken Sparrows.
Okay.
Well,
Do,
Don't
do
allow-
we in character know that that's his name, or do us as players just know that that's who that is?
yes, that is. You do know in character that is
Okay.
her name. And you see Kane just sort of like raises both of his hands and says, "Now, don't let me be the one to try and color your outlook on prospective friends, but Jameson has a lot of big ideas and wants to do revolutionary things like expose the corruption of the Blue Cloaks, and it's all very, very heroic of the Sparrows, which is a fun new direction for them to be going, to say the least. I don't know how effective it'll be, but who's to say? But please, don't let me talk over anybody. How have you all been settling in? Is there anything that I can help you with? As he says this, the first course is being served.
What is the first course?
The first course is an appetizer that is primarily vegetables baked in a butternut squash topped with cinnamon.
Yes. Butternut squash lets him go.
Hell yes.
And Kane opens the table and says, "Is there anything that you all are needing help with? Any questions you may have for me or any of the Comordants, for that matter?"
Are there any other toes we shouldn't be stepping on?
Well, it depends on who you find yourselves being an enemy of. If you can get someone inside the Blue Cloaks, then they can be a great asset. They don't necessarily have to be adversal. I'm assuming you all have a few rooks in your employ.
We may or may not.
Plausible deniability is always good to have.
Sounds like, from what you were saying, this direction that the Broken Sparrows are moving is a newer one. Did leadership recently transfer over?
Oh, yes. In the same sort of manner as your young Miss Katie here, I believe. There was a bit of a fight at the top. Jameson saw her moment, and she took it with ruthless efficiency. Spent months filling the rabble with her talk of revolutions and protests, really speaking to the Broken Sparrows' younger, more idealistic base, and it spread like wildfire. The Broken Sparrows are committed, almost to a jealousy-inducing level. Now, I will be upfront and admit that Jameson and I have had disagreements on how to best reform the city. Jameson wants to tear the Bluecoats down to their base, whereas I see them as a very useful tool if manipulated in the right places at the right times.
They're quite incompetent, aren't they?
Oh, almost directly, but even a blind pig can find a truffle.
Do you have anyone on the inside?
Of course not. Bribery of a blue coat officer is illegal.
Obviously. I'm so glad you're an upstanding citizen that would never, ever think about breaking the law.
I am nothing if not an honest businessman. And you see, there's this smile, and for just a second, you almost think they're fangs. They're just teeth. And he sips at the wine again and says, well, this has already been quite informational, and as he's saying this, the second course is being brought out, which is pork katsudon cooked rare over a bed of fried rice. And he folds his hands sort of and sits forward and says, oh, and if anyone would like a vegetarian option, we have that as a distinct availability.
Actually, I want mine medium, not rare.
And you see, as you say that, immediately the plate is taken from in front of you and taken to the back. And the waitress says, we'll get that fixed for you right away.
Kane, if you don't mind my asking, where do you hail from?
Myself, I'm not sure that you would have heard of it. My family dates back in this city for, hundreds of years, but I was born outside of Dusk Falls territory, funnily enough, and my mother and I moved here, 50 some odd years ago?
I see. As we may recall, Bishop has red eyes, and they just sip their wine and nod as their question has been duly answered.
Now, I did have another piece of information that I wanted to impart on you all, since it's important to keep open connections.
Of course.
I happen to have been in a bit of business dealings with the former owners of your new estate, Madam Katie, before you became the head of the household. We were in talks, and thusly I am aware of your subterranean traveling abilities. And I wanted to warn you that the man who dug those tunnels has recently been killed. Not Dr. Baxter, Unfortunately, those who do the hard blue-collar work rarely go recognized, and his death was quiet. But I thought you should know. Someone cleaning up a man like that, especially as he's finishing his magnum opus, stinks.
How recently did this person pass away?
It was at the beginning of this week, actually. I had one of my little squirrels keep an eye on the home he had out in the sort of empty fields. I don't know what he was digging, but it certainly looked like the tunnels that I had seen in blueprints under your current purview.
Has there been a funeral yet?
He had no living family. Unfortunately, I believe that's why they were picked for the job in the first place.
It's unfortunate.
Mm.
Indeed.
Do you know what this magnum opus of theirs was?
I don't know where it led to, but in the interest of making friends, I decided not to pry too far into your business. The tunnel's been left undisturbed by my people, and they haven't reported anyone else's people going in and out. All I ask in return is a favor, if you would be so inclined.
It's a favor.
I need you to keep an eye on young Master Jameson. She's ambitious, strong-hearted, determined. But all of those things in the same melting pot can make someone a bit foolish at times. And in your interactions with her, if you learn of any plans to try and remove me from my important seat at the head of the Comortans, I just wish to have a bit of notice beforehand.
He'll cold look at everyone else. Sounds reasonable enough.
I've got eyes.
Out ears?
Good. Hopefully you'll use them as well as you seem to. Now then, I believe it's time for the dessert course, yes? And you see, as that said, Kenneth looks at two people and was like, and they disappear into the back and begin bringing out the desserts, which are these gelatinous sort of dough balls that have frozen ice cream inside of them. Sort of like gummy with ice cream in the middle.
It's mochi ice cream.
It is mochi.
We can call
ice
it what
cream,
it
yeah.
is.
Listen, it doesn't. Mochi ice cream technically doesn't exist, so I was giving a description. But yes, they are little mochi ice cream balls, 4 and 4 different, very decadent, very rich flavors on each plate that's brought out. And with the mochi comes out this fairly tall-looking person of ambiguous gender with short, shorn black hair. They look to be a mix of Black and Asian descent. And as they approach, they're wearing the chef's hat and all, and say, the star of the evening, am I right? And Kane gives just like a very soft little clap for the chef, who comes out and bows and says, "Thank you for joining us. I appreciate your patronage, and hopefully the meal was as delicious as I believe it was."
Certainly.
And you see the chef just sort of stand and remains for the rest of the time that you are here. If anyone has any other questions or requests of Kane, now would be the time. If not, we can shuffle along to what happens next.
Katie's going to ask for the, like, how to hire the chef and wait staff.
Okay. To keep the chef on as a personal cook, it would be 10 coin every month. And she continues to explain, I do run I run this business. If you would like me to be personal chef, I would have to not be present in my own restaurant, so it is quite an exorbitant fee. But
Oh, no, I just wish to hire you for an event.
oh, for a catering service, absolutely. Depending on the number of people, it scales anywhere from 2 coin to 5.
I'll have one of my associates contact your boss.
I'll be waiting. Thank you so much.
Hey, Katie, are we the associates or?
I kind of always assume that we're the associates, yeah.
I didn't know that like you were the leader. I thought we were just like, I don't know, fancy dinner. Fuck.
No, you should be the associates. You're the associates, and when I do things like this, she's like whispering.
Jane, so do you like red?
The color,
Yeah, the color.
I suppose it's fine. It certainly fits our surroundings, I suppose.
Right. There's a lot of it around here.
Yes, quite a bit.
I have possibly one last question.
Please.
What do you foresee as being our worst comes to worst kind of scenario here?
Well, the worst comes to worse. I would say Yodhill is behind the murder of the tunnel digger, and he plans to invade your tunnels and lie in wait and ambush you when you least expect it from inside of them and kills you all. Worst come to worst.
And how about your most optimal outcome?
Well, our most optimal outcome is that the old man just had an enemy that came to him for personal reasons. And that tunnel will lead somewhere profitable for the both of us.
Anyone have any added
Yes.
clauses to this?
You mentioned the Dr. Baxter. What do you know of that whole situation?
Oh, dreadful thing. He appeared to be slain and thrown into the pier. I know that he was a doctor of that rather enigmatic research institute, but shame for that institute. They seem to be having a streak of bad luck.
Truly a shame.
Well, thank you all so much for joining me. This was insightful. And he stands and buttons the suit as he does and says, "Please, stay as long as you like, talk amongst yourselves, let your food rest. I must go and get back to the grindstone."
Appreciate the meal.
Of course. And you see he makes his way out through the back, like he goes through the kitchen.
So what does everybody think?
Do we want to talk here?
I think we could talk at home or even on the giant pirate ship that we now own.
Well, I'm
Away
very
from
tired
prying
right
your-
Just a thought.
I'm very tired. I think we should go home and have people, check out the ship and make sure it's nice for us to use before we use that to discuss things on.
Utilize a contact to double check the safety of the ship.
Yes. And we should probably talk about this at home or at base.
We don't want to keep the wait staff waiting here longer than they need to.
No.
We're paid by the hour. Actually, you can take as long as you want.
Oh, well, then we've been here all night. Who's going to tell you otherwise?
You see, as Kane has exited, the general demeanor of most of the wait staff relaxes a bit, and some people go and sit in chairs.
I mean, I've been very demanding. I've requested so many things from y'all.
Well, we've had way worse customers than someone who wants their...
No, I mean, right now I'm being very demanding for the next 3 or 4 hours.
Oh, yes. We're swamped down here for sure. You see one of the younger pair pulls out a deck of cards and they start playing.
And she kept ordering all these bottles of wine. She kept having to be served.
I couldn't get enough of it. And
I'm not against this decision.
I actually don't even know half of what we ate today. What was that? It tasted good. I enjoyed it. I don't know what the fuck it was.
The mystery makes it even better sometimes.
Someday we might find out.
Mystery meat has a dark connotation.
Amazing. So, with that, y'all take your time enjoying the fine dining of the foul-blooded. And then there is a period of time that we can fill in a blank for if anyone would like to do anything during it. It's about a day or two. Hold on to that and we'll get to it in just a sec. Or excuse me, yeah, what did you have in mind?
I want to... No, you go ahead.
Katie was going to plan a big party at her place, inviting Jameson and finding out some of the lower blue coats, the bottom of the rung people.
Okay. The beat cop esque people. All right.
Yeah, invite
so you
some
will
of
begin
to the big gala thing.
Okay. So we'll say that you begin orchestrating that, and that party will take place during the next sunrise phase. And Bishop?
So, I wanted to do this earlier, but we're doing other stuff. I want to find Genevieve, and I want to go back to that pipe or whatever we were in. And
back to that room. Okay.
Yeah, I want to go back to that room. And I before I go, I would like to tell the rest of the group. So if anyone else would like to come with us and lend their perspective, they're welcome to come.
Okay. Is anyone going with Genevieve and Bishop back to that abandoned haberdashery?
Well, you want...
Well,
so you make your way back there. The room with the pipe is filled with water again. Or whatever the contents of the runoff is. Looks like water. But what else did you want to try and do there?
Well, I wanted to get another look at the symbol in general, but also test the properties and see if Genevieve being able to touch was like a one-time thing or continuous. So
Okay.
I guess while we're there, because the water may have washed away the dirt that we used to cover it, say, all right, try to high five me.
She puts her hand up and passes through yours.
I swear it worked last time. You
Uh,
totally touched me.
Bishop, you do remember that there was another one of those signs upstairs in the back of a wardrobe, the one that Ari saw last time you were here.
All right, let's check up there.
Okay.
See if the wardrobe is still there.
The wardrobe is still there. It's closed, but you open it, and there are some few sparse clothes hanging behind or hanging up in the wardrobe.
I'll take the clothes out, not hastily, like so I'll be able to hang them back up when I'm done, so it looks like someone wasn't here.
Okay. So you, as soon as you uncover the symbol that is etched into the back of this wardrobe, I need you to make me a d20 roll.
Okay. All right, let's use 11.
Okay. So with an 11, when you take the clothes off and you see the sign, you just stare at it for a couple, like probably a minute without really realizing it. And Genevieve goes, puts a corporeal hand on you and goes, Bishop, hey.
Sorry.
Right.
Oh, fuck! That's your hand.
Yeah, I think it's something about this symbol that's makes me. And she grabs the door and like swings it a couple of times.
Wait, come here, because I regret not doing this last time. And they're gonna hug her very awkwardly.
And she gives you like a very good hug back. And just goes, oh, it's been a long time since I got to hug anybody.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. So two things. This thing feels wrong. Like in my soul wrong.
It's pretty creepy, yeah.
Have you ever seen it before? Anywhere else?
She looks at the symbol for a second and then keeps staring and keeps staring. And you watch her form fade back into the form that she was when you first saw her, in the bridal dress with the neck gash, pouring blood. And you watch all her hair stand on end, and she screams this deep, primal, unnatural scream that breaks every piece of glass in the room, just like a banshee wailing.
I'm gonna slam the doors to the wardrobe shut.
And she drops to the floor, just perhaps out of habit. She's breathing heavily. That's bad. That's not good.
Does that hurt you?
It didn't hurt, but something was dragging me, clawing me, anchoring me here. It felt like I was a alive again.
But you were. And then Bishop like stops like mid sentence, like maybe I shouldn't say that.
And you see she reaches up and touches the throat and goes, I know. I felt it.
Okay. No more of that right now, because we just shattered a lot of glass and my ears are kind of ringing. So I think we should actually maybe get out of here really, really quickly.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm following you. And she like is very wobbly, but does eventually stand.
Oh wait, she's still corporeal?
No, but she is like even like floating to her feet, is like she's swaying.
Okay. I'll give her the college tour guide walk, where I walk backwards so she can go forwards. Right. And I will tunnel it back to the hideout.
All right. And she follows in kind. So with that having been completed, we're going to shift forward about 2 or so days to the point where you are all investigating the house where this man was slain. You've checked, you've made sure that the coast is clear, you're not being tailed, and you are toward the outskirts of Duskfall as a city. This is a very secluded area. And as you step in, everything is covered in plastic. And there's a set of, it's very simple. There appears to be an icebox in the same room as where there's a bed. And there's a large stairway that goes down, and just peeking down at the bottom of the stairs, which go down a ways. It's like 2 or so flights worth of stairs down. You do manage to see some lanterns that are currently on, and some shovels that are just sort of like set up to be taken down there.
So I'm going to broach this question now. How many of us are going to be doing actual manual digging labor? Great. Okay. I will grab
a shovel without saying.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those moments where you just see people like looking up to the ceiling and like, oh.
Mm-hmm. So as you all descend down the steps, you see that this tunnel, first of all, is very expertly crafted. It looks like almost an improved version of the ones y'all use to get around towns. As soon as you step down here, you see that there is very much so. This guy was getting better at digging tunnels as he went. And this tunnel is dug. Y'all grab a shovel. You walk and walk and walk and walk for about, I'd say, almost a full mile. This tunnel just stretches on in a direction until you reach the end of it. And everybody make me a survey check with a +1.
Four.
Okay. 4, 5, 9s.
If I don't have any, I roll what again?
You roll two and take the lower. But you do have at least one. Yeah, you have at least one in your pool because I gave you a +1. Okay, we got a 5 from Ari. So you would just roll 1 die and tell me what you get. Y'all are perceptive for this one.
And one chance, let me have it.
I got a 6.
Oh, really? Perfect. So you all notice that this tunnel is very finely put together, and this looks like a constructed end to the tunnel. It doesn't look like it's unfinished. It looks like this is where it was supposed to go. And all along the walls, you see supplies. You open one crate, and it's full of ropes, this large sort of this long narrow tool that has like almost a scalpel edge toward the end of it and a suction cup on the bottom. You see masks, you see lanterns, you see oil, all these sorts of supplies toward the end of this. Katie, you are the only one, however, who notices, looking up, that the tunnel begins to curve upward until it hits the stone bottom of something. And your brain immediately is looking at it. It looks like it's constructed stone, like poured cement. And you start thinking about where you started, the direction you walked, and how long you were walking. And you know exactly where you are. You are underneath the biggest diamond store in all of Duskfall. And all that separates you from however many diamonds would be on the other side is about 3 inches of concrete. And in the supplies, you do see a number, probably like 3 or so pickaxes.
Does somebody have a ladder?
And as Katie points it out, you all notice, you don't immediately make the connection, but I would imagine Katie imparts the knowledge.
Because I need a new diamond necklace for this, for the gala we're having.
The stairs that led down to this tunnel, were they easy to find?
They were. It looked like the hut was almost built around the stairs. Like it was a straight shot from the door that you walked in from to the stairs down.
How high up is it?
Who would kill him and miss this?
Mm-hmm.
It's about like 40 to 50 feet up. And you do see that there is a ladder that's attached to the wall that leads up to it. Katie, you were saying?
Maybe they killed him so they can get to the diamonds without anybody else knowing.
Which means somebody's coming back here.
So we gotta do this quick.
The quicker the better.
It
And I
depends
don't
on
say
who
that
it
often.
is.
What were you saying, Cole? Sorry, I was laughing.
Depending on who commissioned this tunnel, could get a lot of attention, a lot more.
Maybe we should find out who this person was and who his contacts were to figure out exactly what we're facing here.
And then maybe we should go just browsing for some diamonds. Just see what's there anyway.
A diamond in the rough.
If there was one and we didn't look, I'd be beating myself up over it.
Agreed. Maybe it's time to do a little bit of dirty work ourselves.
And with a new plan and a new target forming in the crew of the Blue Ghost's mine, Weave the Tail, thank you so much for that raid. Welcome in, Raiders. The camera is going to pan away from our characters, and it's going to pan toward the roof of a building in 6 towers, an old soda shop. And you see that there is someone dressed in heavy red cloaks with a mask on and a large sniper rifle that they are cleaning and putting together, sort of screwing, just doing maintenance on their gun. And the camera pans down just a little bit, and you see a pistol on the hip, revolver. And as the camera pushes closer, you see that the barrels have only 5 loaded. And the camera pushes into the empty barrel, and when it pulls out, it transitions to the back of a man's head, with the person in the mask pointing the pistol at them. And you see the shovel is thrown down, and the man says, "All right, fine. The tunnel's all yours. I did as you asked me, right? It's dug. You're right underneath it. Should be easy to steal." And the voice comes through surprisingly smooth and says, "Well, yes, I suppose I am. I think that means you've outlived your usefulness." And the gun cocks, and the man goes, "No, wait a second," and and they look up toward where the diamonds would be, and they go, "Well, they do say they're a girl's best friend, don't they?" And the camera will pan up from the cold, expressionless mask and pull back through the concrete, showing this large, spiraling cases and cases of diamonds and jewelry and gold bands, security officers lurking around. This opulent place is seen in full view, and the outside of it says the Thousand Islands Gem Refinery. And that is where we're going to end our episode of Blue Ghosts for the evening. Thank you all so much for joining us. There are so many of you lovely people coming to spend this time with us. Hopefully you enjoyed what you did manage to catch. I know we had some people come in toward the end there, but good for you. We will be back next week with more of these shenanigans. So if you want to see how well the gem heist does, you'll have to tune in for the next exciting installment. But before we get out of here, we have some outros to do for all of these lovely cast members. We're going to go in reverse order, starting with the ever lovely Janie, who played Katie. Janie, how are you? Where can we find you?
I am doing great. And I completely went blank. So I always do this. Find me on Twitter, I guess. JanieBot7575. Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Thanks, y'all, for the game and just watching us.
Awesome. And next up, we have the lovely Becca, who played Nines tonight.
Hello. I've been Becca. You can find me on Twitter or most places as Cool Armadillo. On Twitter with a 0 as that final O. You can also find me here on Wednesdays, obviously. And then on Saturdays on my podcast, Unlikely Adventurers, where me and my co-host make really bad D&D characters. And we might be doing a one-shot for Christmas weekend that you will be out by then. So that'll be fun. And this has been Mayday.
Fantastic. And then next up, we have the ever lovely Ari, brought to life by Madam Gandalf. Alex, how are you?
I'm doing well. My name is Madam Gandalf. I'm a full-time streamer here on Twitch. Lately been doing a prio push for GTA Roleplay No Pixel. But I love roleplay. I love TTRPGs, and I also do a lot of singing and a variety of games and cooking. So just feel free to come on by my Green Dragon Tavern, because we have a little bit of everything. Sometimes we even do face painting and makeup, or TTRPGs as well. Actually, Dee and Anita have both been part of my TTRPG shows that we do as a little special. So yeah, thank you so much, and please have a drink on me.
Hell yeah. Everybody go to the Green Dragon Tavern. It's a great place to spend your time. And speaking of great places and great people, Ryan, how are you doing, my friend? Where can these lovely people find you?
What's going on? I've been Ryan, Sphinx Roll here, Sphinx RL on Twitter. I'm not here. You should probably be lurking around different spaces on Twitter, on Twitch.
Awesome sauce. Fantastic. And then next up, we have the lovely Max bringing us Bishop. How are you?
I'm Max. I play Bishop tonight. And you can find me anywhere I want you to find me on the internet at Arcane Goth. You can also find me at TTRPG on Tuesdays for the next few weeks, running the Midnight Hour, a horror mini campaign in the system called The Between.
Hell yeah. I hear that's gonna be a fun mess.
I heard the tabs on my laptop said that it was going to be real interesting.
Absolutely. And that just leaves me. Hi, I'm Dee. I am a voice actor, streamer, musician, professional GM all across the internet, and the twisted mind that all of this lovely stuff is coming from. Thank you all for joining us so much. On Mondays, you can catch me on this exact same channel for Kingsguard, where I play a Deizuko who is going through it. On Tuesdays, starting next week, you can find me in the aforementioned Between game, where I play a character. On Wednesdays, you can join us here for a lovely episode of this. And on Thursdays, you can join us on my channel for the best team in all of esports, the Dub Club. The Dub Club is the best team on all of Twitch, composed of myself, Mallard Man, and Husha_Kid. We always win. We dominate all the multiplayer games. There's no need to check the VOD because I told you what happens. Just save your time. You don't need to check anything. We only win anyway, so it's fine. On Fridays, you can catch me over on my channel as well, where I will be streaming my first ever sponsored stream this week. If y'all want to come through and hang out and do some support on that, that would be fantastic. And on the weekends, I try to not exist for a little while before I get back to it. I am also the retaining TTRPG Universal Champion. And if you want to find out where, how, and why I have this belt, you should follow me on Twitter at It's the Riddler. Thank you all so much for joining us. We are going to raid into Rule of Lore, and we're going to keep the RP fun times happy and go lucky. Thank you all for joining us so much. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your night and give our love to Rule of Lore. Our raid call for this stream is gonna be fuck the blue coats. Hashtag fuck the blue coats. Yeah, with that, I believe we will make our dramatic. Oh, what? Unfortunate. So we're gonna find. Yeah, let's go ahead to Perception Studios. They're fun. Oh, I almost forgot to say this.
Them.
Damn it, Dee. Thank you so much to our lovely producer, Anita, for working behind the scenes and keeping things rolling, keeping the ball on track. We would not be able to do the show without them. And with that, remember our raid call is #FuckTheBlueCoats. Go give Perception Studios some love, and we will see you the next time on Blue Ghosts. Bye, everybody.